there. Welcome to this introductory video for cultural diversity. In this video, we'll talk about a few things to introduce you to the topic. First is diversity, culture, and how that relates to the design context. I'll also start with a short intro on what you can expect in this workshop. So this is basically an online course. We have different workshop components for you developed. We have online videos. A few are made by me and some are made by Matthijs Troes. We have collected reading material and inspirational material for you to get inspired by on this topic. We have developed homework assignments that you could do partly yourself and sometimes in pairs or with a group. You can discuss results from these assignments with your group and your team when some discussions come up, or if you want to do, for example, a cooking together or cooking exercise together. If you have any things related to cultural diversity and it is you have some struggles in the team, or you think this might be interesting to discuss also with somebody else, you can discuss it with your tutor, of course. And if you have particular questions about the theories or the homework assignments, you can ask me during expert hour. So let's start with diversity. Diversity is about all aspects in which people differ from each other. It's about the visual things like age and skin color, but also about the less obvious cultural and social backgrounds. And we go and dive deeper into this matter later in this introduction video. Then culture. Culture is about the collective programming of the mind, distinguishing the members of one group of people from another. So here it comes back to diversity. And we can categorize on nation, ethnicity, gender, generation, organization, etc. So, of course, very interesting, these definitions. But what does that mean in real life? So I can give an example from my own perspective, my personal cultural diversity. I want to show you this personal picture of me and my mom and my grandma. So, like some of you also, I have origins in two cultures. My mom is from Indonesia and my dad is from the Netherlands. So I've been growing up with these two cultures in my family. So a lot of our cultural values, our cultural habits, origin from, of course, how we have grown up, what our parents taught us, what our grandparents and family taught us. But of course, we also get a lot of cultural aspects, habits, etc. from education, from our friends, from our travels. So we are much more than that. And this is quite interesting, especially when you try to translate these insights to the workplace. So when you start working, you come across a lot of diversity. There's differences in age, there's differences in origins, there are people with two cultural backgrounds, there are people that have traveled, there are people that have worked somewhere else, you might have co-workers in other countries. So culture is definitely something to take into account. So have a look at this cultural onion model. At the core, you see values, then rituals, heroes, and symbols. I will explain each layer of the onion model with an example of the Dutch culture, but pause for a moment and think of an example from your own culture. Symbols are quite easy to see. These are tangible components of our culture. For example, the Dutch cookies or Delft's blue, often represented in typical Dutch souvenirs. Heroes are our role models or representatives. In the Netherlands, we like football a lot, so one of our heroes is Johan Cruyff. And he's quite famous for his motivational quotes, and we use his quotes often for explanation of situations. And rituals are habits or actions that we see as part of our culture. And here you see one of our rituals, the New Year's dive in the sea with the orange hats. So values are what we find important in life. And researcher Swatch, he dived into this matter and collected all kinds of values and did large surveys amongst different nations, different people from different age categories, backgrounds, educational backgrounds, work environments, etc. And he found a complete map of values, and he divided this map into 10 basic human values, which you can see here. And we have values related to the self, like self-direction, stimulation, hedonism, achievement, and power. And we have values related to others, like universalism, benevolence, tradition, and security. So it's that everybody has these values, but you prioritize these values differently. And per culture, you can see what kind of values are more prioritized than others. We see another onion model, and here are values linked to ourself. We are persons, and we have our own identity within the larger shape of culture. So always be aware of that. Although you have some cultural backgrounds, you have your own identity, and values are also part of that. So why is this important? At one point, you will be working in business. You will work with a diverse group of people. You will work with customers. You might work in an international context. And cultural values and different types of behaviors are something that you will experience. But more importantly, you will become a designer. And you're not only a world citizen as a designer, but you also need to consider values and culture of stakeholders, of your target group, from other people in the organization, and you have to take into account societal values. And as a designer, you can have 5 types of intention. You can affirm with culture, you can tune in with culture, you can change a culture, be a bridge between cultures, or even bypass a culture and only focus on technical components. So, what can you expect in this workshop of cultural diversity? We'll address these different topics that I introduced to you in more depth. We'll discuss different theories. There are different assignments and exercises that make you more aware of cultural aspects, and we also work with a card set that can help you to discuss culture as a design team. And all this, we hope that you realize that you're, of course, not your culture. You're also a person, and I hope you realized it also for when you start designing, that your customer or your consumers or your user or your clients are not their culture. They're not stereotypes. They're also just people with their own identity. So being aware of culture helps a lot. You can have larger impacts being aware of that and use that in your design. But of course, also realize they are also just persons, and persons have their own identities, their own set of values. So I hope this introduction to cultural diversity made a few things clear to you. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. And for now, bye and see you later.